On February 28, 2026, the United States and Israel launched coordinated strikes against Iran, opening a new and dangerous chapter in the modern history of the Middle East. What followed was not simply another exchange of missiles, but the rapid expansion of a conflict with the potential to reshape the balance of power across the region. And from the very beginning, one question stood above all others: can Iran truly be defeated? Iran can be struck from the air. Its military facilities can be degraded, its ports disrupted, its command networks targeted, and its infrastructure placed under sustained pressure. Its skies can be contested and its cities pushed into fear and uncertainty. But the ability to inflict damage does not automatically confer the ability to impose defeat. Because Iran is not merely another target in the Middle East, it is a hardened state, shaped by unforgiving geography, civilizational depth, ideological resilience, and a long history of survival under pressure. To understand why Iran is so difficult to defeat, the first place to look is the map. Iran is not a small or fragile battlefield. It is a vast country built on mountains, plateaus, deserts, and enormous strategic depth. The Zagros Mountains in the west, the Alborz Range in the north, and the country's elevated interior make any campaign against it far more difficult than a simple air war might suggest. An enemy may strike Iran, but controlling it, breaking it, or forcing it into submission is an entirely different challenge. But geography alone does not explain Iran. The deeper answer is history. Iran is one of the world's oldest continuous civilizational states. Dynasties have risen and fallen on this land. Invaders have entered it. Empires have tried to dominate it. Yet again and again, Iran endured. That memory matters, because states shaped by repeated survival do not respond to pressure the way weaker, newer, or more fragile states do. Then came the revolution of 1979. That revolution did not merely replace one government with another, it transformed the logic of the Iranian state. From that moment on, the Islamic Republic was built in confrontation with external pressure. Sanctions, covert attacks, diplomatic isolation, economic punishment, and the constant possibility of war did not disappear. They became part of the environment in which the state learned to survive. And over time, that produced a system designed not for comfort, but for endurance. For decades, Tehran has governed with the expectation that conflict could arrive at any moment. That expectation shaped its military doctrine, its internal security, its missile programs, its underground facilities, and its regional posture. That is why Iran can be wounded without being broken. A state built for survival does not collapse simply because it is struck hard. And this is where so many wars are misunderstood. There is a difference between destruction and victory. Destruction is physical, victory is political. An army can destroy runways, fuel depots, radar systems, ports, and command posts. It can damage infrastructure and still fail to break the will of the state it is attacking. History is full of powers that won the opening phase of a war, only to discover that they had not won the war itself. Iran's rulers understand this distinction very well. They do not frame war as a passing emergency. They frame it as a test of sovereignty, survival, and historical dignity. And when a state persuades its population that a conflict is existential, resistance becomes far harder to crush from the air. Buildings can be destroyed, roads can be severed, bases can be burned, but belief is a much harder target. There is also the way Iran chooses to fight. For years, it has built a strategy based not only on direct force, but on depth, patience, and regional reach. Missiles, drones, allied armed groups, maritime pressure points, and strategic retaliation all form part of that system. That is why the current war is so dangerous. What began on February 28th did not remain a single night of strikes. By March 11th, Reuters and AP were reporting wider regional escalation, continued strikes, anti-aircraft fire over Tehran, and mounting tensions around the Strait of Hormuz. The conflict is no longer defined only by the opening attack. It is now defined by expansion, retaliation, uncertainty, and the risk of a far broader confrontation. And that brings us to the central illusion of this war. The illusion is that overwhelming firepower automatically produces submission, that enough targets are hit, enough cities shaken, and enough infrastructure damaged, then Iran will eventually bend. But history suggests otherwise. Iran can be punished, it can be weakened, it can be isolated, it can be made to suffer, but suffering is not the same as surrender. To truly defeat Iran, an enemy would need far more than successful airstrikes. They would need to break the state itself, suppress its ideology, control its territory, absorb the regional backlash, and sustain a conflict with no guaranteed endpoint. That is not a short campaign. That is not a clean military operation. That is the kind of war that consumes time, money, legitimacy, soldiers, and civilians alike. And that is why this war may prove to be a historic mistake. Donald Trump and Benjamin Netanyahu may have the power to begin this war. They may have the power to expand it, intensify it, and impose immense destruction on Iran. But beginning a war is not the same as winning one. And if they believe Iran can be reduced to submission through force alone, they may be chasing an illusion that history has already buried more than once. In the end, this may be the final lesson of the war. Iran can be hit, it can be hurt, but truly defeating it is another matter entirely. And the longer this war continues, the more it may consume not only Iran, but the ambitions of those who chose to start it. What do you think? Did Donald Trump and Benjamin Netanyahu make a grave historic mistake by starting a war against Iran? Share your opinion in the comments.